Hi, I'm Paul Roberts, and this is Conscious Counseling 101. Today, I'd like to take the time to address some concerns that I have from somebody I've been speaking with. And they say that through time, as they've grown stagnant and they've gotten so bored. They say that nothing seems to have the spark and the fun that it used to have. And they're finding it more difficult to be amazed by new things. And they're really not sure how they can find joy and happiness like they used to be able to. Like when you first go to a magic show and you're amazed by what you see, but then you learn the source of the tricks, and all of a sudden, life's not the same anymore. So, what I'd like to say to somebody that is concerned about these things is this, and this applies to many people. When we're a child, we have no baggage, we know nothing, and we welcome everything that comes into our midst with a sense of wonder and joy. We think that we have we think that we have unlimited potential at this time in our lives as children. And we feel as if maybe that we're even immortal and that nothing can possibly go wrong and that all positive things can come if we just apply ourselves. As we go through life, if we continue to grow in our conscious mentality, whether it's a good sense of religious understanding of things or a heightened greater understanding that you find from another source perhaps, and you adjust and you tune yourself as you go, you can stay ahead and things can maintain a good quality of life for you. But if you continue to take on heavy, burdensome ideas, one after another, without some way to fully understand them and sort through them, and to bolster yourself in some way that you can offset the damage that they're doing and maintain a sense of equilibrium, eventually what's going to happen as you develop into a man and have the conscience of a man, you're going to be so overburdened by everything that's been placed on your plate that you'll be robbed of the innocence and joy and positive nature that you would have normally naturally had. Now, if you've gotten to this point where you've already done this, you've probably wrapped yourself up in the identification of the ideas and beliefs that you've had that have become a part of your burden and the baggage that you must carry. You have to ask yourself, is there any way you can alleviate that weight? Is an idea going to grab you so hard that you can't possibly escape it? Do you have such a sense of belief and understanding in what it is that you know and feel that it has to be the way you perceive it? If there's nothing you can do to break through that, then that's your answer. What you're experiencing now will be the way you exist throughout all the days of your life. Now, I personally believe that we have a choice to do something about this. And everybody is going to make a different choice, and they're going to proceed at working through that different choice in limitless numbers of different ways. The question is, are you going to make a choice to do something about it, whether it's on your own or look outside for religious guidance or the guidance of others that you feel are doing a good job at it or they may be able to help you, or you're going to continue to reach out and pull in all the bad things and continue to burden yourself and never find any means to release any of that burden? This is a choice that you must make. You cannot blame or fault anyone else for the choice that you make. It may seem overwhelming to you, the things that you've taken on. And because it's an idea and you have confidence in that idea and you believe in that idea, it may seem that there's no other way you can ever possibly believe. It's got to be that which you have sensibilities for that have been developed. It's got to be your way that you perceive things. And you'll go out and you'll search more and more and more and more and more to see if there's anything else that will help alleviate this, when the truth of the matter is you've locked on to something that's so heavy and burdened you so badly that you've been blinded to the fact that there's another way to perceive things. It's your choice to admit that to yourself or not. If you find yourself depressed and unhappy, and you're looking and you want to be happy, what you've got to do is you've got to allow yourself to be happy. You've got to take a leap of faith. It doesn't have to be in a creator. It doesn't have to be in something that somebody else says. It has to be a leap of faith that's associated with a self-enabling process that you allow yourself to believe that what you would like to have is possible if you abandon what is inhibiting you from gaining it. You then will take the time necessary to apply that effort. If you cannot do this, or you will not do this, if you cannot take the time to develop a perspective that will allow you to see this and do it and offer it to yourself, that's a choice that you've made. And all the things that you feel inside that you want to blame and say, no, it wasn't a choice I made. It was the heavy, burdensome ideas that I have that caused me to feel this is the way it has to be. Sorry. It may seem that way to you, but it's not. It's a choice that you've made. And once again, I say to you, the reason you've made this choice is because you've placed value in what you think you know, and you've devalued the fact that you cannot know it. This is holding you captive. Because you're convinced that what you think you know has you in its clutches, you can't leave it. If you can change that one thing, even temporarily, you can show yourself positive benefits and reverse what you're dealing with. Now, this particular person I'm speaking with has expressed a very good knowledge of the pool of all ideas of mankind, and a very, very, very strongly formulated sensibility to what is wrong and evil and bad about the people that comprise the society that we live in. He's disappointed with the conscious mentality of those that we surround ourselves with. He's amazed and astounded at the foolishness and the self-ability for each person around them to dupe themselves into believing a delusion. And yet, he's not willing to direct that astounding quality back at his own self. He's not willing to take what he sees in everyone else and their failures and their limited perspectives that they all have and see that he's doing the same thing. This is a choice. I'm doing everything that I can do to make this be shown to you. However, I am just me. I believe there are other forces beyond me that can help you to see these things. This is just my belief. I do not know, but I feel them, I believe in them, and I utilize what they show me. I would suggest to you that you use every means available to you to deburden yourself, to release your baggage. I would suggest to you to use every means available to find some measure of faith in something else. I would suggest to you to study things that have been written about faith and consider them as strongly, without the guidance from others, as you consider all those things that you're considering that are being presented to you in opposition to faith. I am only telling you to do this for your own good, not so that you'll be brainwashed and duped. if you have a conscious objective set forth that you maintain, and you look at everything objectively, even the good, not just the bad, if there's anything there, you'll find it. Now, I would like to say something just basic, like you can find great truths and meaning and purpose and love and hope in the words of Jesus' teachings. Well, that's one of the places I've found them. But I've also found those types of same similar religious things in other teachings that are religious and secular. We can all identify in a certain way with a certain type of a message. And we can hopefully understand that that type of message could be rooted into a creator's or into the universal fabric of the world and its ability to want to talk to us, to want to give us a chance. If we resist that because we put up a wall, then we've forced ourselves to be who we are forever and not allow for growth and building of conscious. You may say, well, I'm educating myself every day. I'm considering all these different ideas. I'm looking at everything I see and looking and trying to learn. I must be building my conscience. You can build your intellectual abilities. You can build your knowledge. You can build your confidence in what you know and understand without building your conscience. I submit to you that this is what you've been doing. You've been running towards things that seem to have meaning and gravity and weight to them. And you have built up an anchoring, heavy baggage supply that is more than you can handle. The gifts that the things that you found have given you have been depression, a poor way of looking at things that you could have looked at things in another way, hopelessness, concern over things that you have no power over, a general focusing of things, focusing on things that you have no way of benefiting from now or throughout all time, no matter how you mix it up. I've heard, and I'm sure you have said many times, that the clinical definition of insanity is to continually do the same things and expect different results. When you were a child, you had no pattern of behavior. You had a sense of wonder, and you were constantly trying new things. As you became an adult, this waned. So two things have happened. You've been presented by things that have weighted you down. You have not ran after things that will lift you up. And more importantly, you're not changing that. You're not doing a new thing every day to find a new sense of wonder. You're letting it get plopped in your lap instead of running towards. And when you do run towards, you run towards things that can also bring you unhappiness. What I got from what you wrote is the understanding of why what is happening to you is happening to you. I didn't know why it was, but when you talked about how you've changed from a child to who you are now, you wrote it clearly. What I've just shared with you is what I've seen from what you've shown. I hope that me just mirroring it back and being there for you will be helpful, more so than not.